most people, like Linda and Kevin, they know my situation here.
Yeah.
I'm in pain all the time. There's some days I can't move, and it's just, I have
I'm so
it's
sorry.
okay, it's all right, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm happy, so that's
Okay.
all that matters, but it's okay.
Okay, so I'm still gonna give this little coaching thing, because.
But I would like to increase my business, so it's not like I wouldn't want that.
Okay.
I just don't really, I couldn't
So-
train, really.
And see,
really
I
why.
always told her that if she recruited somebody, that I'm right there.
Do
to
you
help.
know-
So I do give this spiel when I do shows,
Okay.
but she would train them.
Do you realize what an inspiration you would be for a lot of people?
Oh, I was run over by a drunk driver, that's what was wrong, that's what happened, so.
You have a great story. And you would be an inspiration to probably way more many people than you realize. I'm dead serious. So don't underestimate your powers. We can be whatever we want to be. And you know what it is, like I started to say earlier, we all have compelling stories. But the good news is, we all get to create the ending to our story. It's all about choices we make. We create our own happy ending. If you want it to be, or whatever you want. We create that ending by the choices we make, okay? But you could do an amazing job with training. You could do whatever. You move a mountain one shovel of dirt at a time. I don't believe anything's impossible. So when someone's working with me, we work through it. I mean, we really do. So, but when I'm coaching someone, usually they can't get bookings. That's usually the dilemma, 99% of the time. So, I'm gonna say, the very first thing I'm gonna say to them is, well, tell me what you've tried to do that hasn't worked. That it hasn't worked for you. Tell me what you've tried to do that hasn't worked. They usually have trouble thinking about that because they haven't probably done it.
That's right.
But, so the second question I say is, well, what do you think you might be able to do that might work? They know. They just aren't doing it. Then when they run out of that, now I ask permission to tell. I never blab until I ask permission. And that's gonna be the same with everything whenever you're working with anybody. I always ask permission, and I'll give you some other booking ideas with that. Then I train them and give them ideas. The end of the call comes, I always set up the next appointment before we hang up. I do that with everybody, everything. We talked about that last night. Always have the next appointment set up. Maybe it's somebody that you're trying to get to do a party and they're telling you, I've got this and this and this going on, okay? And then I say to them, with respect to that, when do you think all this is gonna be gone and you're gonna have some free time that we could revisit doing a party? When do you think that will be? Okay, they tell me, would it be okay if we revisit this in here? That way when you go to pick up the phone to call people back, it doesn't feel like it weighs 1,000 pounds, because they've already given you permission to call them. Do you see?
Yeah.
So I always set up that appointment. So now, the end of my coaching call, we set up an appointment, whatever. Different people, I do different amounts of time. Sometimes 2 days, 3 days, sometimes a week, whatever. So then I say, out of all the ideas that we talked about today, were there a couple or 3 of them that really spoke to you or jumped out at you? I would love for you to pick 2 to 3 ideas that you're willing to commit to doing before we talk next Tuesday. I have just asked them what they're willing to commit to doing instead of me telling them what to do. It's a very big difference.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Now, Tuesday comes, oh, by the way, I don't call anybody except newbies and, you know, there's some circumstances I do call, but people call me if they have a call with me. And the first time I heard that concept, it was from Jane Duber. I don't know if you remember. She told me, oh, you don't call anybody. I go, you're out of your mind. My phone will be dead. Nobody will call me. But that's not true. They do. They value your time. So next Tuesday comes, and guess what? Susie Q doesn't call at 11 o'clock, like she said. Why do you think?
She didn't do her stuff.
Bingo. See, she already knows. You're right. So I wait about 15 minutes, and then I initiate, usually a call, sometimes an email, but I always follow it up with a text. Anytime I communicate with someone, host, whatever, I always do a text. And the text is, I just left you a phone message. I just sent you an email. Can't wait to hear from you. It's a teaser. I don't say anything, except that I've left you a message. So in case they didn't get that message, the dog ate the homework or whatever it is. You know, the kids deleted it. She'll now probably call me. Something I always do. So now I leave the message. Here's the message. I had you on my calendar at 11 o'clock today for a call, but you know what? I have been so busy. I have a feeling I wrote the time down wrong. I take the hit. That way they're gonna be more likely to call me back. So I say, give me a call as soon as you can so you can straighten me out, so I can get my calendar fixed in the right direction.
So she has 2 hours to do her homework?
Or
whatever.
you can set up a new call. Now, here's what happens. I know, she's sitting there going, oh, thank gosh, she thinks it's her.
Yeah.
Serious, they'll usually always call back. And then immediately they start in with the excuses. Because here's what I do, you guys, and I'm gonna teach you at every level of the business, you need to have systems. I use Outlook, some kind of calendar. You've gotta have everything in one place. My life is on Outlook. It's on my phone. Okay, does everybody have an electronic calendar?
Well, I mean, I
use
have a
paper and-
calendar. That's all I use.
You use-
I use
Not
paper
Outlook.
and electronic.
I do two papers for Barry, so he feels important. You know?
I have a paper thing for my husband on the nights I'm not gonna be there. I'm gonna be at training this
There
night.
you
I'm gonna
go.
show this.
Yeah.
That's for him here. These are the nights we have to take care of our dogs.
The physical departures are on my, when we have to be somewhere, those are on
That's her life.
mine.
This is
my
my
life.
life. This is her life.
Way to
Not digital.
relax. I enjoy writing
Oh, that's awesome.
and making my calendar.
Crazy girl.
That's why
Anyway.
I have to prove it. I said, we picked
So
it.
I have written down in my Outlook those 3 things she told me she was gonna do. They're right there on the appointment. So when that appointment blows in with an alert, there it is.
You know what she was supposed to
I
have
know
done.
exactly what she told me she was gonna do.
What she committed to.
That's exactly. So now she calls me back and I go, oh gosh, I'm so glad you called back. Let's not even worry about what happened, because I know it was her. I don't want her to feel bad. Well, I do. but I'm
There's
not
no
gonna-
value in that.
And so
You know.
I say, how did we do with, I'm reading her those things. And of course, she didn't do it. So she starts giving me all her excuses.
The dog ate her
And
homework.
I say, you know what? Why don't we do this? Let's just stop right now. Let's reset a new appointment. Let's not spend a half hour talking about what a coulda, shoulda, woulda happened. Let's give you that gift of time right now so that you can start working on. Okay? I roll it over to the next one. If she blows me off a second time, some people give it 3, I don't have time. And I say that lovingly, because I always take people back. But I have 400 on my personal team, and 39 directors. So I
How
don't-
many?
I don't have time to babysit.
You have 39 directors.
Well, counting my second gen, which to me is my first gen, cause Susan's gone.
Yeah.
So the combo of, yeah, but I'm very busy.
Yeah.
But I'm not, because I only work with those who want more.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's not very many, being honest. So, I don't even know where I was going now with this. Anyway, that's what I do. Second blow off for me, I call again and I say, gosh, Stacy, it feels like right now might not be the time to put that new silver Honda Odyssey in your driveway. I know their why. That is the key ingredient. You've
Yeah,
got
just
to
you put
know
it back there.
their why.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna talk about that with hosts. It's the same thing. You gotta know the host's why when you're doing a party for them, okay? So I say, but Stacy, let's do this. As soon as you've done, there again, call me right away, because we're gonna get right back on track. And Stacy, by the way, when you do that, you're gonna be at the top of my list of priority people in my life. I've left the door open in a very nice way, but I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't have time to chase and babysit, and neither do any of us. That's how I coach. And people know I mean business. I require accountability, but that's how people grow. That's how I help them achieve more, is through that accountability. So I'm just gonna say, I spent 16 years trying to help everybody succeed, everybody. But they want it, but they don't wanna work.
Yeah.
So that's why I've learned this process, and that's why I like to teach this, so that you all are doing that, instead of